So welcome to the next installation of Schrodinger's Cast. Who would like to start us off today?
Well, you seem to have stuff ready. Why don't you lead us out?
Go ahead and pull up my TikTok page. I'll pull up a video and then we're going to look into it. Let's go to the top secret 4-hour tape.
You know that meme where it shows a president before and after they got elected? And in the after picture, it looks like they literally aged 10 years. Almost as if somebody yanked them into a room and told them all of the world's secrets. Well, it's rumored that this is because of the 4-hour tape. And listen, guys, you gotta stick around for this one because this is a wild story. Aaron was one of these low-level employees. He always kept quiet, and he just tried to fly.
Now I'm gonna go Google the top secret 4-hour tape and see what's supposed to be on this information. What information is on this tape that apparently every president at some point in their term gets introduced to. I want to see if there's a 4-hour tape that exists, or a tape that exists that has apparently top secret information on it that no one's supposed to know, that they share tidbits with presidents about, and what could be on it potentially. Move this over there. Okay, cool. The opening quote is, "No way Trump had a 4-hour attention span." All right, so let's
nice catcher.
Yeah, let's scroll down and see. It came from TikTok and Reddit. One of the videos posted 3 days ago has gained over 2.2 million views due to its bizarre mix of terrifying government conspiracy theories and cake boss quality icing decoration. They're baking a cake and talking about this video. The story in the 4-hour tape reveals every secret that the USA is hiding and is shown to government employees at the highest level of security clearance, including presidents. Effectively, per the story, Earth is a farm and the aliens will return in 2028 to harvest and eat a big swath of the population. So we're a meat farm, is what this is apparently is part of this tape. That might explain where all the missing kids in Ohio are going.
Am I in your battery, man? Am I in your battery?
Am I in your battery? Yeah. That's what you use me to power your. Use my universe to power your car.
Was that?
Where he has a universe.
Yeah, it's the mini-verse.
Rick and Morty, man. Yeah.
Microverse.
One of the reasons they believe the video wasn't real, there's no way Trump had the attention span to watch it, and he would have talked about it a million times if he had seen it. There's no way for me to prove if the video exists or not. It might just be a made-up story hearsay.
Okay, hold on. The only reason they choose to believe this is not real is that they assume that Trump couldn't sit there for 4 hours and that he would blab about it.
Yeah.
You remove those assumptions, the writer does believe the story, though.
Okay.
That there is a tape that exists, possibly.
All right.
If it's I'm just, the words they chose to write is the only reason I choose to believe this is not real is, and then 2 points.
Let's go back a page.
Okay.
Because Reddit and TikTok are the top hits, really, besides that article. The UFO Hunters has a video. That's a 4-hour marathon of UFO Hunters. I knew it would lead into a UFO story, which is the next one I had lined up was a UFO story. Go back to my TikTok real quick. Let me see if I can find this video I was talking about. The one on the right. See, I think that might be it. I can't remember.
Alexa, what is the CIA's Gateway Report?
From Sanateam.es. In 1983, the CIA published the Gateway Report, a mind-bending document about military research into astral projection, out-of-body experiences, and other dimensions.
Alexa, according to the CIA Gateway Report, what is the absolute?
From PopularMechanics.com. Much of the gateway theory rests on what McDonnell calls the absolute, an energy field that exists in all dimensions, has uniform energy throughout, and is infinite.
Alexa, according to the Gateway Report, what is the significance of a hologram?
A hologram is a three-dimensional optical simulation created by the diffraction of light, as described in the Gateway Report.
Alexa, what consciousness-altering methodologies did the Gateway process employ?
From Gumroad.com. What differentiates the gateway experience from other forms of meditation is its use of the hemi-sync techniques to induce an altered state of consciousness through audio by taking advantage of the brain's phenomenon known as frequency following response, FRR.
Alexa, what is Focus 12 in the Gateway experience?
From intuitionmedicine.org. Focus 12 is the state of expanded awareness, where you can sense and feel that you are more than your physical body.
Alexa, how is the no time state described in the Gateway experience?
From albawaba.com. He goes on to explain how the gateway experience can allow a person to transcend time and space if the brain's frequency reaches a certain level outside the normal range of perception, gaining access to dimensions of the universal hologram that are normally out of reach.
Good to know.
Not only is it, like the MK Ultra shit, like Stranger Things and 11, playing with people's minds, frequencies, responses, and then I told you there was a book I read about this. It was a fiction book that told a story, but the idea in the book was that you could essentially vibrate your atoms in your body through methods of meditation that would allow you to transcend your physical form to leave this plane. Same kind of concept, which if this doesn't get us on the map and some videos taken down and start getting looked at by looking up CIA shit, and I think we're on the right track. This is what we need to be doing anyway. If this gets shut down, we know we're doing something right. That's from the actual CIA.gov website. Let's start there. I don't know no better source. Holy shit. This is what I was hoping for. This is a letter explaining it to somebody, to their commander, I guess. That's like a summary letter from one commander to another.
All right, yeah.
Same?
So
All right, next page. That's exactly what I was talking about. Transcendental meditation. Intense and protracted single-minded concentration on the process of drawing energy up the spinal cord immediately results in what appears to be creation of acoustical standing waves in the cerebral ventricles, which are then conducted to the gray matter in the cerebral.
Whoa, sensory courier homunculus.
Check that out.
Cortex.
Oh, sensory cortex. Homunculus.
Yeah.
That's where they place the inner homunculus.
Figure A, the homunculus. Figure B, the motor and sensory cortex of the third and lateral ventricles. Okay, so cortex on the right side of the brain. As a result, according to Bentov, these waves will stimulate and eventually polarize the cortex in such a way that it will tend to conduct a signal along the homunculus, starting from the toes and on up. Maybe that's what you experienced earlier today. Were you transcending your physical form earlier?
No.
And this is an article from the 80s that was started back in, the 50s or 60s?
Oh, it's further than that. If it's tied to Kundalini.
The cumulative effect of these vibrations may be able to trigger a spontaneous Kundalini sequence in susceptible people who have a particular sensitive nerve system.
Hold on.
4 to 7 hertz. It says a range of 4 to 7 hertz per second may achieve the same effect. Although normally a period of meditation involves intense concentration and practice for 5 years, or some is required to bring up the Kundalini, Bentov states that exposure to mechanical or acoustical vibrations in the range of 4 to 7 hertz for protracted periods may have the same effect. So using audio waves can induce a whatever they're calling a Kundalini, which is I'm confused as to what it's doing. Like what people that
you can use frequencies to disorient people.
I'm assuming they say people that susceptible nervous system.
No, don't tell people shit like that, because then you can't have stuff like the Havana.
A susceptible nervous system. I'm guessing people who are easily hypnotized, because not everyone can be hypnotized.
Well, yeah, what is susceptible, particularly sensitive nervous system mean? Or they go into the point of, so they're a person that is physically susceptible, or are they a nervous person?
Yeah.
Susceptible, blah, 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 blah.
All right, there's a lot of pages. Let's scroll down and see if we can just kind of fucking cherry pick and summarize the gateway. Come on, that's right there. The gateway and hemisync, based on the principles. Technique is defined in a monograph by Monroe Institute trainer Melissa Jaeger. A state of consciousness defined when the EEG patterns of both hemisphere are simultaneously equal in amplitude and frequency. Although the hemisync seems to be rather rare and of only short duration in ordinary human consciousness, she states audio techniques developed by Bob Monroe can induce and sustain hemisync with the Institute's basic Focus 3 tapes. So he mentioned Focus 12 in the video. This is Focus 3. A subject with 20 years of training in Zen meditation could consistently establish hemisync at will sustaining it for 15 minutes. And Dr. Stewart, a psychiatric and research associate of the Institute, reports that in our studies of the effect of the Monroe tapes system of brainwaves, we have found that tapes encourage the focusing of brain energy. It can be measured with a light bulb in watts into a narrower and narrower frequency band. This focusing of energy is not unlike the yoga concept of one's pointedness, which we may translate in Western terms as single-mindedness, to just getting rid of all your thoughts, basically, I guess. There is a gradual increase in brainwave size, which is a measure of brainwave energy or power. Why are people doing this? Why are people messing with this in the first place? It's interesting as hell. Lamp versus laser.
Well, what were their original? I thought the original thought, or the original thing that brought us to this was when it astral projection or whatever, when that was what the original article was.
Gateway assumes that once the frequency and amplitude of the human brain are rendered coherent, so once they're rendered coherent, it is possible to begin accelerating both so that the human mind is soon resonating at a higher vibrational levels.
Dude, because the resonant frequencies can be a very powerful thing. Resonant frequencies can destroy large structures if you know what you're doing. With enough amplitude,
it can destroy or it can build.
That's even a more interesting thought. What is that? Oh, here we go. What's this? Galactic North, Galactic South, Taurus. What is this an image of? Our galaxy?
I guess the way the universe is moving. So they're talking about astral projections.
Okay.
So go, well, I would suspect,
yeah,
considering they're talking about this. Go ahead and go back up one page. Quality of, okay, perspective.
Consciousness and perspective.
Wait, so here we'll go. We'll go to the top paragraph. Since the torus is being simultaneously generated by matter in the past, present, and future, as it would be seen from a particular perspective in one phase of time, by reflecting on this model, it becomes possible to see how human consciousness, brought to a sufficiently altered focused state, could obtain information concerning the past, present, and future, since they all exist in the universe hologram simultaneously. In this case, the future, because all of the consequences of the past and present can be seen coming together in the hologram, such that the future can be predicted and seen with total accuracy. So they're saying pay attention to the past and then you predict the future.
Go back to the picture. Go back to the picture real quick. All right. What I heard you reading, I pictured this differently as you were reading it. That because they're talking about astral projection and being out of the body experience, they're talking about like the goal is to get that, or that you are this torus field outside looking in. Therefore, you're able to perceive the past, present, and future.
All the time.
All of it,
which is
the whole picture.
How the other dimensional beings would perceive
but
things, correct?
But all you have to see is the future. The past and the present, is already there. That's what they were saying on page 19.
But that's how I visually saw it instead of.
All right, keep going down.
But that's just it. They go. They say predict. They don't say see.
Okay, hold on.
They put see in quotations, and then they put predict at the end of the paragraph.
These
affirmation is a statement to effect that. Did you read that?
This is well known.
That the individual realizes that he is more than merely a physical body, and that he deeply desires to expand his consciousness.
Okay, so then after that, he exposed for the first time to the hemisync sound frequencies, and this encouraged to focus on and develop a perception of what appreciation for those feelings accompany a synchronization of brain waves that results. Next comes a technique of progressive and systematic physical relaxation, while the hemisync frequencies are expanded to include additional forms of pink and white noise designed to put the physical body at the virtual threshold of sleep, as well as calm the left hemisphere of the mind, while raising the right hemisphere to a state of heightened attentiveness. Once all of this is achieved, the participant is invited to envision creation of an energy balloon comprised of an energy flow with the energy balloon, which sets up a pattern of very reminiscent of the cosmic egg discussed earlier. Not only enhances bodily energy flow and encourages early achievement of suitable resonant state, but it is also designed to provide protection against conscious entities possessing lower energy levels.
This sounds a whole lot like a lot of mystic.
Sounds like a self-help book.
Yeah, all right, keep going.
I'm sure Joe Olstein.
Okay, so advanced techniques, problem solving, patterning, keep going. I want to know results. All right, so the information acquisition potential
that's because he has a
associated with out-of-body state seems to attract the most attention from a standpoint of developing for practical applications the gateway technique. Unfortunately, although the out-of-body state can apparently be achieved by many people without excessive expenditure of time or effort, the purpose to which it can be put currently limited by the fact that although individuals in that state may travel anywhere on an instantaneous basis in either the terrestrial or in other spheres, information distortion in the former context remains the major concern. To date, according to one of the trainers at Monroe Institute, numerous experiments have been conducted involving persons moving from one coast to the other in the out-of-body state to read a series of 10 computer-generated numbers in a university laboratory. Although most have acquired enough of the digits to make it clear that their consciousness was present, none ever succeeded in getting all 10 correct. This seems to be a function of the fact that physical reality in the present is not the only holographic influence which individuals may encounter in an out-of-body. So they're saying people
are studying that we live in a holographic existence.
They're saying that people can transport their consciousness to other parts of the world and maybe even further. That would be just like 11. When they're asking like 11 in Stranger Things, it's like, where's this person at? And she can tap into this, upside down and then see, who's talking, where they are, and see them with a series of white noise and, deprivation tanks and shit. And they're saying that people, this is an Army document saying that people can actually do that. That's what I just gathered from this. No, it's not perfect, because they couldn't get, they couldn't go, basically it's like, can you go read, whoever's nuclear codes? That's what they're asking. And it's like, I got some numbers, I didn't get them all.
Yeah.
All right, let's go down, let's go look at the summary at the end here and see if there's something at the end. It's just going to be sites.
Holograms too.
I think they're using hologram. Well,
23, 26, 27, 26.
That's just a little piece that ties into some other.
Conclusion. There we go. There is a sound, rational basis in terms of physical science parameters for considering Gateway to be plausible in terms of its essential objectives. Institution insights of not only personal but of a practical and professional nature would seem to be within bounds of reasonable expectations. However, a phased approach for entering the Gateway experience in an accelerated mode would seem to be required if the time needed to reach advanced states of altered consciousness is to be brought within more manageable limits from the standpoint of establishing an organization-wide exploitation of Gateway's potential. The most promising approach suggested in the foregoing study involves the following steps. So they're basically trying to make little 11s to go out there and, astral project and read shit. Other than not to like leave Earth or some shit
Well, there's your Focus 12 exercises again.
Yep.
So this was the Gateway process.
Yeah, this is the Gateway process. Government meditation. Something I never thought I would read about. I mean, if you want an out-of-body experience and be able to astral project to other places in the world universe, I mean, I know a guy that can get you that for about $10-20,
Yeah.
Okay, here's be intellectually prepared to react to possible encounters with intelligent non-corporeal energy forms when time-space boundaries are exceeded.
Here's something
and arrange to have groups of people in Focus 12 unite their altered consciousness to build holographic patterns around sensitive areas to repulse sounds like psychic magic.
I thought of the same. Okay, so the aspect I was thinking, it was something I talked about either with you earlier in the week or last week when I was talking about, we live in the third dimension and we can't perceive the fourth dimension or any dimensions higher than that. This is where we live, is in the third dimension. And even our brain, that we live in a third dimensional world, what we see is just what our brain is basically interpreting and decoding. It's not actually, what is. It's just how we perceive it. Like the same way we can see all of this shit, we can't see anything out of our light spectrum. We can't see, sound waves. We can't see infrared frequencies. We can't see all that shit. Our vision and sound are limited to this. And if we're just a three-dimensional being and there are four-dimensional beings that can see and vision outside this, including time that we're talking about as a constant, where it's like, this is not past, present, and future. They can see all of it at once. Then that to me says that, we only see a percentage of what exists and we're basing our everything we know off of that. And there could be other beings that we have no ability to even witness, see, or encounter that do not live on the same plane that we can see and hear. That was a big.
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't. Yeah, but I mean, you don't even have to go outside of our own plane to say that.
About what? How?
That people don't see the vast majority of stuff in their own plane.
Because most people are just fucking stupid and.
Well, just in general, because you can't go.
Throughout history.
Just because they can't go.
A quote from episode 1: "Everyone's stupid and fat."
Yeah. Since everybody's stupid and fat.
Just Americans.
Yeah, just Americans.
Just Americans, yeah.
All right, let's look up real quick.
Right,
Well,
yeah.
let's see. So Will mentioned that
Anytime we're just talking, go full
we can move stuff around with vibrations. So does that explain pyramids?
Good. Gravitational manipulation and building and sound manipulation. And you can build pretty much anything.
Have y'all seen any of the stuff done by Wally Wallington? I know it's a silly name.
Wally Wallington, I have not.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that's a big block.
Yeah, but you can turn the
Counterweight.
window
Yeah, he's got counterweights on it.
Yeah.
He's got leverage points.
I think the crazy thing, I think in most of his though, when you look at it, it's usually the real matter is that look at the way he's carrying on his shoulder, carrying that camera around to record this beautiful footage for us.
Yeah. It's
This
pretty
man, like if people could hold a camera on their shoulder like that, why are the limp-wristed people we have nowadays can't catch a decent street fight?
Or
Yeah.
Hey, filming in one of these. I mean, you had weight and base to it before. You had structure. What was he attempting to do?
Didn't hear. I think he's making something to help cut the hole.
Oh,
Either that or making a something so he can.
patch the hole.
No, either that or glue rope into it. I couldn't tell. Maybe it is fill the hole.
from when he moved.
Oh,
it.
yeah, because that's what he tied the rope to. I'm assuming. I don't know. I
think he's
I left my
filling the
center
hole
lines on there, so I should be able to
Yeah,
line these rocks.
with rock.
because he wants a
Right
he wants a
where I want
smooth surface. Pretty low. Well, he's a little higher, so I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
Or maybe you're trying to fill as much of it you can with the natural stones that cements just around the edge when he cuts it and grinds it.
I want to keep it fairly even.
No.
And
Spacers
get a flat spot. That's good.
Spacers?
or a lock. He's gonna lock the blocks together.
Oh!
He's gonna cement these slightly above, recess holes in the bottom, and lock them together.
Like dowels
like
or some
that.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna dowel the stones, I guess. And he
Interesting.
measured and marked both,
There
you
you
know, to line up.
Just gave my blocks some feet
Some same size holes.
in order to walk.
Huh. I mean, he is showing how the pyramids could have been built by a lot less people than it would take.
Yeah, the one thing I don't see though is he got chain on that? Or is that rope?
It's all rope.
Just rope.
Besides the bolts, he's not using anything else that wouldn't have been available. I mean, I think the idea to keep in mind here is that if the pyramids
neighborhood
could have been
of,
built by man or
20,500
by
tons.
aliens, either one is possible. It could have been built by us. It could have been built with us instructed to build it. The fact that it is, and it's the only structure that's been around for so fucking long, is because of what it's built of. Do I like the idea of it being built by aliens? Yes. Do I think we built it? Yes. Do I know what its purpose is? No.
What's one of my favorite jokes though, that I think is Andrew Schultz's, is he always jokes that everybody always speculates that the Egyptian pyramids were made by aliens. And he's like, they got pyramids in Mexico too. Ain't nobody disputing that the Mexicans didn't build them.
They got pyramids in Afghanistan. Oh yeah, that's a really good joke.
It is interesting how many sets of these pyramids
There's like
line up
pyramids in Iran, Afghanistan.
astrologically with the Orion Belt.
Yeah, but
that
see,
is
they don't
with
perfectly
different
line up to
seasons.
star configurations either. What most of them do represent, and I think that one documentary I watched was Ancient Civilizations or whatever. It talks about that possibly the correlation of the way they're all facing and how they're all aligned lines up really with a star. I think it's Sirius B. That most likely the reason we were so fixated on that part of the sky was because an asteroid or a comet or something came from there, and these civilizations were trying to build something to either warn or look at that direction of the sky, thinking that it would happen again.
I think it's more that they were worshiping whatever that is.
I don't know if I'd worship a fireball that came from the
Because
sky to kill me.
today's DC has a lot of that geometric symmetry. This is geometry. This is
Washington, D.C., you're saying?
oh yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of cities do, but DC especially.